I bet if you were a horse here today and invited to speak, chances are you'd tell us that you feel frustrated, shut down, tired of being misunderstood. Your back hurts, your mouth is dry and dead. You want to do what's right, but you're so confused. The humans in your life don't speak horse. They arrive a ball of stress, which you can feel from 20 paces. They handle you on autopilot. They don't acknowledge the questions you ask with the only language you know, your body. You'd ask, "Who's in charge?" You'd ask, "What's that in the corner?" You need to move forward to feel safe. You need your human to acknowledge your fears and to lead you past them in a way that lets you know you're heard, understood, and respected. You need social interaction, but so many of you are turned out alone for a few hours at a time, if at all. You need help. That's okay, horses. Chuck and I have your backs. Now, if you're a human joining us here today, chances are the following describes your situation. You beautiful horse-loving human, you're an adult amateur who's pursuing your passion since childhood in your hard-earned free time. You invest everything you can, but this dream you've had since you were little is not always what you'd hoped for. You had imagined a respectful relationship based on mutual trust. You dreamt of a horse so smooth, with a connection so soft that you glided along effortlessly, seemingly changing pace and direction through some sort of telepathy. Just like the wizards in your horse world, you watch them in wonder and envy. You're not happy when your coach has to constantly tune your horse for you, and that your dear old Flicka always seems to go all soft and demure when they ride. Not fair! You've invested a lot to get here, and here is not at all where you wish to be. Well, my dad and I are attempting to change this. Our shared mission is to pass down the foundational knowledge required to bridge the gap between the average horse-loving human, which I lovingly call muggles, and the wizards in the world of horsecraft. We aim to teach a recipe and provide the tools to enable modern-day horse lovers to cross the chasm left behind when the art and science of good horsecraft was no longer passed down from generation to generation. A recipe to make their own brand of magic with horses. May we give that new generation of horse owners and lovers a leg up.
And
My
who am
name
I to
is
tell you
Paige
anything
Lockton.
about horses?
I'm an A-level
Well,
pony
I
clubber,
started out as a
an
pony clubber,
international
got my
3-day event
A,
rider.
became a
I was a
level
reserve
3
for the 92
coach,
Olympics.
a
I'm a
certified
certified
equine
EAL
assisted learning
practitioner,
facilitator,
a certified
and became
HeartMath
an international
practitioner,
event
a
rider. I was a
writer,
reserve rider for the
podcaster, and
Barcelona
an online
Olympics on the
educator.
Canadian 3-day event
I
team,
help adult amateur
and
horse
I
lovers,
show jumped up
confused
to
by
the Grand Prix
conflicting
level.
methodologies,
I had to
make
become a
informed decisions
specialist
regarding
in
their horse
dealing
care
with
and training
difficult,
and rest
hot
easy at night,
horses, ruined
knowing they
horses,
have the tools to be
traumatized
the best steward for their
horses,
horse, the one
and
their horse
inspiring them
deserves, and the
because I
leader
couldn't
their horse
afford
needs.
the fancy
And I
ones.
help them move from the
And my little
mundane to the
crossbreds
magical in their
ended up
horsecraft.
outperforming much better bred horses.
My name is Paige Lock. I come from a long line of horse people. As the daughter of a Western cowboy turned veterinarian and an English riding pony clubber, I grew up with a seemingly natural ability to calm traumatized horses. I know what it takes to inspire trust and create willing partners who are happy to see you at the gate and outperform better bred horses. I aim to pass that on to you and spread good horsecraft like butter on hot toast. Now, I'll pass you over to my dad, Dr. Chuck Lockton, DVM.
As breeders, as owners, as competitors, and as healers, but most of all as horse lovers, Paige and I dedicate this modest compilation of basic horse lore to the wonderful horses who have had to teach us. My hope is that this project will prove useful as a basic introduction to the ancient art of horsemanship. The term horsemanship is not gender neutral, but it is an old expression with long accepted connotations. We will try to use alternative phrasing, such as equine stewardship, horse husbandry, or horse craftsmanship. Ooh, manship. Sorry, Paige. Neither Paige or I intend any form of gender bias. However, I'm an old dog and not and adverse to change, but I'll do my best.
Good horsemanship, or good horsecraft, as my dad and I are calling it, was traditionally passed down through families from one generation to the next. Part of good horsemanship is knowledge. This is an interspecies relationship, and we need to understand what our partners need and how they think. I'll leave most of that in my dad's department. I'm more interested in the intangible, in how we develop the magic, that elusive feel that every good horse person has, and what makes it work. But first, let's talk about horsecraft or horsemanship. What the heck do you mean by that, Dad?
I've thought about this over the years and have looked it up in Webster's dictionary, but for me, it really comes down to this. Horsemanship is the art of establishing mutually beneficial relationships with horses. More simply, it implies the ability to manage these creatures in a manner that benefits both horse and horseman. Of course, I mean horse person. Page has a much broader definition of horsecraft.
Growing up horsey, at a time when so many daily lives still revolved around working alongside horses, this magic was in the very air we breathed. We drank it in through our mother's milk and breathed it in through our father's breath, seemingly inheriting their stance and their composure with these animals. We witnessed it in action with our leaders, veterinarians, breeders, trainers, teamsters, cowboys, officers, farmers, colonels, captains, Olympians, and everyone in between. We were steeped in it. It's not the same to step in from the outside without guiding examples. Apart from basic good horse care, there was something else we learned from our forefathers and mentors. We absorbed the body language necessary to engage the world's largest prey animals in all kinds of situations in a way that made it perfectly clear that we were in charge, we were capable, we were aware, and we were calm. Therefore, they could be calm too. They trusted our leadership and felt heard and respected. Without that, nothing good can happen. That is at the heart of good horsecraft, no matter the discipline. That magic is what is missing when someone starts their journey with horses. That magic, my dad has always proposed, wasn't teachable. For years, he would shake his head and claim despondently that you either had it or you didn't. Well, I've tested this theory and I argue the opposite. The magic is learnable. I know because I lost it, regained it, and am here to pass it on. So, what happened to me that I lost this magical ability to communicate with horses and regained it? Well, long story short, through the cumulative effects of stress, bankruptcy, divorce, and cancer, I found myself on the other side of a chasm, unable to connect with horses the way I once had. Dogs barked at me and growled mistrustfully at me. Horses were wary and disrespectful. Left with the freedom to choose, they would get as far away from me as they could. It was horrifying to find myself on the other side of this chasm. Then, in 2019, I was introduced to polyvagal theory and the science behind our emotional regulation systems, and it changed everything. At a training session designed by the world leaders in equine-assisted trauma therapy, Linda Kahanoff and Dr. Rebecca Bailey, I gained an understanding of our nervous system, an awareness of how we transmit emotions through our energy fields, and of how we can intentionally hack into a branch of our nervous system to get ourselves into a state of safety and connection, fundamental to gaining the trust and respect of the equine species. We need to know how to control our own energy before being accepted as a trustworthy leader. And this state is central to the ability to relate. It's something that, air quotes, natural horsemen seem to have in spades. But it can also be attained, or relearned in my case, through breathwork and mindfulness techniques, and will be addressed in detail in our next series, our Horsecraft 202, HeartMath for horse lovers. Since that training in Montana, I've looked at all of the previous training I've received from the masters, at what worked and what didn't, and found the thread of polyvagal theory through it all. It was there all along. It explains why I was able to connect with animals under stress, as my dad, a veterinarian, treated them. It explains why hot horses, traumatized horses, were attracted to me, and why I got results with them. It also explains when things didn't work. To be able to put language to this skill and to use it consciously when it was something that I did by accident before is a gift. It explains so much of the apparent magic between some horses and riders, and why others, in spite of a gazillion dollars worth of lessons, just have not been able to get there. But now I know I can help them. I believe that first, you have to truly understand the species you're entering a relationship with and have a species appropriate environment and expectations. And then you need to practice embodiment and mindset exercises that will turn you into the leader your horse needs you to be. I know, you're trying, but you see so many disparate examples, methods, systems, and contradicting ways of doing things. How are you to know if it's the right example? How do you, as a sales associate, as a medical doctor, or as a lawyer, know how horses should be kept? Or what a happy horse looks like? Well, you trust the local pros, right? Well, how many of them agree? And may I point out that there is no regulation in this industry, so what you see out there is more likely a reflection of economy of scale and convenience. So how do you make informed decisions? How do you communicate with a horse like one of the pros, like one of the magicians, like you do in your dreams? I was driven to re-examine the horse industry because of an incongruity I could not answer to, a riddle I couldn't solve. Watching the eager dreams of so many horses and their owners turn into something sour, something rough, something scary even, was heartbreaking. Was not the riding of their dreams, not the riding of the magicians and the wizards of whatever horse realm they inhabited. And
Paige and I are fully aware that we too can be fallible. We're passing on what we learned from our own mistakes, and who knows how many more we're going to make.
I'm here alongside my father to pass down equine science and break down equine behavior, needs, and instincts in a fun way that you can apply to bring you the elusive feel or connection you seek with your horse. You'll be able to advocate for your horse's needs and choose a facility that best meets them. And with practice, you'll be able to apply this knowledge to steer your reactions, tune in, and trust your instincts. Good instincts can be developed, but they need to be based on knowledge. And then think of them like a muscle that you'll grow with understanding, followed by consistent practice. That's what it takes.
I'm supposed to be taking the scientific side of things, but in many cases, Paige will handle some of the more modern concepts. I believe that there have long been outstanding horsemen, think horse people if you like, most of whom never knew there was such a thing as parasympathetic nervous system, and sure as hell don't talk about polyvagal theory.
Well, that is no doubt true. It was when I developed an understanding of these things that I realized the apparent magic that was at work, back when I had naturally been able to give comfort to hot, nervous, and traumatized horses. So it's a concept you'll see covered in our foundation course, Horsecraft 101, From Amateur to Magician, Making Magic with Horses, and then expanded on in Horsecraft 202, HeartMath for Horse Lovers. So here's what you can expect to gain from training with us. You can expect to be able to calm your horse, to avoid explosions, to prevent rearing, to be a confident steward, to avoid resentment, create trust, to have a more responsive horse and prevent sourness. You'll practice effective leadership, have a happier horse, improve your connection, and have better relationships with your horses and maybe with the rest of your life too. No guarantees there, but it tends to trickle down. To work with me, you can choose your level of support, from independent learning to group coaching to one-on-one online private coaching. The benefits and bonuses at all levels include access to the 9-module video-based course, each approximately 1 hour long. And because as a neurodivergent learner myself, I know that we all interact with material differently, I've included these bonuses. There are PDFs to give you a framework and guidelines to apply the lessons in all kinds of situations. We'll tell stories because we all learn through storytelling, and that is our forte. We'll share stories about our own experiences so you can learn from our mistakes. Every module will include a video presentation with an engaging slide deck. And each week, there'll be reflections and exercises for you to do with your horse to incorporate and embody the learning. And because boundaries are a big thing, I'm including a bonus video about respectful boundaries by my friend and peer in equine facilitated work, the queen of boundaries, Carmen Theobald. For those purchasing supported versions of the course, you'll have a membership in a group called the Wizards of Horsecraft to ask questions and get the support of like-minded people, a safe space to learn, grow, and evolve your horsecraft. And there'll be bi-weekly live group coaching to ask questions and customize the learning. You'll have a 1-year membership to my blog and podcasts and have the opportunity to attend live via Zoom and have a Q&A session when I interview my guests, which include Olympians, Paralympians, medalists, and mentors of the world's best horse people. And we'll look at stories that sit at the intersection of what it takes to be resilient, overcome obstacles, and connect with the equine species. You can find out more and sign up at themagicofhorsecraft.com. Or if you'd like a sample of our work, we have a special freebie, our top tip for building trust with your horse. You can follow the links below or visit my website at themagicofhorsecraft.com to get the video and PDF that will help you apply our principle. It's called Never Holler Woe in a Tight Spot, to help you with all kinds of situations, including preventing explosive behaviors like rearing or bolting, calming your nervous horse, creating a relaxed warm-up, and creating the confidence and energy to get out of all kinds of tight spots. Be a part of something special as it grows and become a founding member of our Wizards of Horsecraft Club, a safe space to learn, grow, and share. Between now and December 1st, you can buy the independent learning option at half off, and as a founding member, receive a free upgrade to get all the perks our members get. How? Just apply coupon code BETATESTERS50OFF at the checkout and email me, Paige, at themagicofhorsecraft for a link to your membership. Until we meet, take a chance, and remember, anything is possible together.